Everybody, my name is Kobe Cornell Boone. Thank you for clicking on this video and checking out the intent. If this is your first time tapping in with the channel, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you find this video valuable today, I just ask that you please like, share, subscribe, but most importantly, leave your feedback in the comment section. That's what allows me to know what I need to do better and making these videos to be able to put value out in the masses and to be able to hear from y'all too to continue to make this content and be encouraged to do so. So this video, oh man, this video is probably one of the most important and valuable videos that I've recorded so far since getting back on the channel, man, and really being committed to this ministry. And that is, hopefully, if you clicked on this video, you're either a couple of different people. You're either A, in sales and tired and sick of sales. B, you're in sales and doing well in sales, by the way, and you're like, I'm in maybe a life era where I want to transition, I want to do something different with my career. Or let's say maybe you're a third person who might not even be, maybe you haven't even started your career yet, right? Like maybe you're in college or you're getting ready to leave from high school and maybe do like a boot camp or something to skill up, and you're like looking at sales, or that's the only thing that's opening up for you. Hopefully this video gives you some context, so I'm gonna dive right into it. I worked in sales before getting into product management in the tech world is what it's called now, but in the outside world of tech, it would be called project management. But I had previously been in sales all my life. I mean, from the first time I had a corporate job, if you will. My first job out of college was working an inside sales job for multiple vendors. I worked in the malls. I've had multiple mall jobs. Only one. I worked at Aldo at one time. I sold furniture before. Like I've had a plethora of jobs. I worked for the number one human capital management company in the world at one point. Um, selling everything, all kinds of services, financial services, if you will. I am not a financial advisor, by the way, but I partnered and worked with dang near 100 accounting firms. So what am I saying? Whether you're in SMB, so small, medium sized business, or maybe you're in the larger mid sized businesses and you're in data arena, or you're in tech sales, for example, you're selling software, maybe you're an SDR or you're an account manager of such. There's so many different, like, I don't want to call it buzzwords, but there's so many different names for different titles that I'm seeing now in the market or in the industry that I also saw years ago, right? Like something would say marketing manager. And for me, who got my degree in marketing, my Bachelor of Science in Marketing from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, largest public HBCU in the nation. I got to say that because very proud of the school I went to. Very big deal. HBCUs, historically black colleges. Um, yeah, man, like you see these names and these titles and you think you'll be doing one thing, and then you get in and you find out you're doing something totally different, or you're on the phones, if you will, and sales. And hey, I am gonna start off our preface this video by saying if you need to learn to be effective in selling yourself, whether it's in a job interview, whether it's uh, life, you need to have some basic skills of like really great communication from with people from all walks of life, uh, learning how to rebuttal, learning how to negotiate, learning both how to be a persuasive speaker as well as being an intentional listener and not listening to respond, but listening to hear what that person's pain point is as an individual and as a person. That is something that I can definitely accredit to some of the incredible sales training that I've had in my previous sales career. However, I think it's important to understand like the qualities that are needed to be either in a hunter role or in an account manager or SDR role, um, which is like sales development representative. Yeah, sales development representative. The characteristics that you need to really be in that for, let's say, 10 years 20 years to make like a longevity type of career out of sales, man. And it doesn't go without saying that this is one of the highest turnover roles that there is out there. It is mentally grueling, it is mentally taxing, emotionally taxing as well, depending on how invested you get into your job or role. But it can be rewarding, depending on what you're selling, software, whatever the case may be. It can be SaaS, software as a service. It can be extremely rewarding. So I have pros and cons in making this video, and I think that's how I want to preface it starting it off. But I want to get to the gist, which is why I ultimately left sales, and it was because of the life change. Life change in the sense of I had been married at that point, going on 2 years at that point, like a year and a half, I want to say, or maybe it might be. Let's see, now we're 3 years. It might have been 2022 was when I left sales, so might have been like, and we got married in 2020. So, but it was yeah. So coming up on 2 years, man. Um, and I wasn't where I had been promoted a couple of times, was doing really well building relationships, but wasn't seeing my career grow financially as quickly as I would have liked for it to seem at that time. And again, really great in my role. Still have clients that I served at that particular time, that I'm friends with to this day. To this day, like real life friends with. Um, and for me in sales, the type of work that I was doing by the time I had left was beyond where I wanted to be at that stage in my career. So at the time that I left, I would have been, let's see, I'm 28 now. I think 26 years old at the time that I left sales. Been married almost 2 years, almost 2 years, and was looking to start a family and wanting to be more family oriented. So now I'm in a position where career wise, I'm thinking, okay, I want to go from being a nine to whenever job. And anybody who is truly in sales knows what I'm talking about that's watching this video. Keep it a buck, especially if you good at what you do and your clients like only want to talk to you, only want to work with you. There is no stop watch. There is no stop per se for a great sales agent. Now you can say that you manage your schedule, you have your cutoff time, and it's about that person's responsibilities and routines and stuff that and boundaries that you put in place. Yes, 100%. However, you got to get them bills paid, and you got to make them sales. And one of the hardest things, and when you do see high turnover in sales or people who have tough bouts, which I had plenty of them, is you have these really high highs, and the routines and the effort slip, and then you hit this trough, like these really low lows, and you're kind of like always chasing after the cheese. It's like the rat inside the maze with the cheese. And you got these sales metrics that you got to hit. You got these different comp tiers, and then depending on the comp tier of the company, you might have to start all over again the next year to get back to the same level, or different incentives always changing. It's always like again, to me, throughout my course career in the sales environment, it always seemed like chasing the cheese. And you base, for a lot of people, like you'll see somebody who says like what their TC is or their total comp or something, again, depending on where they are in sales or what company or what avenue. And they might say one thing that they made in sales that year, but their base salary was like something that was like low. Now, low is subjective based on lifestyle, where you live in America, all these different things, of course. But like, let's just keep it a buck here. That's what y'all clicked on this video for. You base your life off of your base salary. So if your base salary, for example, I would use my first job out of college. So I can use examples of me because it's my life and my experience. My first job out of college was $35,000. You could have said $350,000 to me, country southern boy from North Carolina, wouldn't have mattered. But that was different when I was 22 years old. Didn't have my own place yet. Was just getting on my feet. Was staying with my sister at the time. Trying to get an apartment, affordable apartment. Trying to getting that started, right? Just getting out of college. That's that. But that's different than when you're 26, you're married, and maybe you want to start a family. You got different responsibilities. based on inflation where we are in America, that's low. Like, you need more. Now you might be crushing it in sales and getting promotions and things of that nature, and your base may be a lot higher. Somebody might be watching this video, and again, depending on what industry they're in, their base may be significantly higher. However, again, it's that second person that's like, when do I see my advancement in my career go from being the person who has to go and generate the leads to the person who receives the leads to the person who just comes in and swoops in and closes the deal to the person that then manages. And I think for me in my personal walk, so far in my career, I'm still very much so in my career. But being someone who had already started businesses outside of work, from my nonprofit, from my family business, and things of that nature, I knew I was equipped for management. I was already doing management. It was more so of when was I going to make that shift to get a skill set wherein I could transition and then do the management side full time in my particular career. And that's where I want to kind of shift the conversation to as well, is like, if you want to escape chasing after the cheese, if you will, and the cycle of sales, I'm not speaking to the person who's that 1% that just, I mean, they love hopping on the phones. They love dialing for dollar. They love dialing. I'm not talking about that 1%. There is a 1% of people who are just different. I've met a couple of them. They are different. They are exceptional at what they do. And I was about to say, most entrepreneurs, if you get that one person who was sitting on the phones and dial, exceptional person. And sales is kind of changing too. You have marketing leads, ads, things of that nature. Again, depends on your industry. But if you're not that 1% person, I would vouch to say that one way that's going to be the out for you is going to be skilling up. That's what it was for me. Skilling up, making the decision to say, hey, I want to be a manager. I want to be a developer. I want to be a creative individual with the qualities that I have, and be able to expand on that ingenuity, not in per se a way to get somebody to buy something always, but to build value in what somebody maybe has already purchased, to improve products, to improve processes and procedures and policies and things of that nature. Like, that's what I want to do. And for me, that was the technology industry, and it was through getting a certification. Now, I'm a huge advocate for skilling up, but I'm a huge advocate for where boot camps and certifications that are good, like nationally recognized certifications, like the PMP, the famous one, project management. I don't even know what the project management. What does the last P stand for? I don't know. PMP. I know what it is. Project management certification, or the PMI ACP, which is a project management certification that's specific to people in the agile frameworks of technology, or the Scrum Master CSM. That's what I have, like your Scrum Master certification. I'm a big advocate on any certifications out there that give you the expertise and the hand-on training, whether you find it on LinkedIn Learning or you Google and find someone that offers it. I'm big on those, because what I feel like oftentimes, if you went to college or you did not, especially if you did not, if your school didn't offer like programs, or your guidance counselor wasn't helping you in some way. But if you went to college, it's like our career services sometimes in our schools, they help you to get to the table. Get you ready to go to the career fair. You're in college, have a conversation, have the suit on. But as far as like continued career advancement, I feel like all of our universities, whether it's PWI, HBCU, whatever, have to do a better job of equipping our young people to know how to advance into the workplace. And it's been a while since I've been out there. So I know a lot of things have advanced, but I know in general folks are struggling, from the videos I see on TikToks the wife may send me, or even mentoring the young guys I do. It's hard trying to define your path of what you want to do. And for the young guys I mentor to talk to, and even seen in my own life and friends, you get a lot of them who didn't have the skill set yet, but they needed a job because they had to pay bills, got kind of pulled into a sales job that would hire them. They're gonna have the marketing, and there was a time you can get a sales job like that. You probably still can. because the turnover is so high. But they would go from one sales job to another sales job to another sales job to another sales job. And when you're in your early 20s, that might be cool. That's one way to advance your base salary. Is to be with a company for a while, grow, learn there, and if another opportunity comes along, go to the next opportunity. A lot of Gen Z does that, right? I'm a millennial. We're a little more a base. Like we kind of sit still when we get something good. Our generation a little different, and then boomers they never left. Like they stay the whole 40 years, right? Subjectively speaking, but it's like you keep bouncing, but you may not be building you. You might be like salary hacking, where your salary might be going up 10, 15,000, whatever the case may be from job to job, or it could be staying the same because you didn't continue to advance and be promoted in every company that you were with, or you're just moving and you're doing more of what you don't love, but you don't have the commitment within yourself just yet to like hack within you. And that's where I want to kind of shift here is that you have to become a person that is has a growth mindset, eager to learn and always learning from every job experience you have. Every job experience. Where I still have experiences from my first summer job working on a farm in eastern North Carolina that I leverage today, whether it be tenacity, whatever the case may be. But at some point, you got to shift that gear and ask yourself, like, is what I'm actually doing currently fulfilling to me? Is my ikigai, as the Japanese concept has, being fulfilled in every different component of my life? And if not, cool. This could be temporary for a season. But if I don't truly like lock down and plan where I want my career to go, I'm gonna sit in this spot that is temporary and the grace may start to run out. What does it mean when the grace starts to run out? When the grace starts to run out, you start dealing with anxiety, depression, emotions all over the place. You're trying to fit into somewhere. I'm gonna go back to that the mouse and the cheese thing. You're trying to fit into a concept or something that's not really like you. That may not be you. I couldn't begin to tell y'all coming fresh out of school and some of the experiences I've had or whatever, how many brilliant singers, artists I've met, um, artists as in painters, artists as in singers, artists as in just like amazing, talented, gifted, creative people who needed a job. Like, and a sales role was hiring, and maybe they were pursuing a dream on the side that they wanted to pop off, but they had to like, they gotta pay bills, they gotta pay rent for right now. And that's cool for a season. But I think sometimes society promotes this idea of like you can work somewhere and spend time in your career somewhere that doesn't really matter as long as your side thing eventually pops off someday and you don't have to put that much focus in your career. Well, I'm not that type of person at all. I believe that you can have your dreams really take off, but having a great first earned income to help fund your dream, help fund your organization, help fund what you want to do that you're working towards on the side, your grassroots campaign to help the community, whatever the case may be. When you focus on your career first, like your career and what you do and getting a high skill, high paying role, like it helps you in every other aspect of your life, whether it's well being, whether it's great benefits, whether it's the ability to have um, grants or possibilities to skill up in your career. That is things that I'm seeing happen, especially in the tech industry. I gotta shout it out, like especially in the tech industry, that's not like other industries at all that I've seen. And I have love for people. I have friends who are first responders guys. I have folks in service. I have folks military. I have family friends like in all different walks of life. And we have these conversations about having a skill set. We have these conversations about having to trade all the time. And I think for me, in this video, what I hope I can convey to you guys, and I'll probably do like a part two to this. Maybe have a conversation with somebody and dive in with some statistics and stuff a little bit more. But this is from the heart in this video because I've lived it, I've done it. If you're ready to make a change, man, in your career, the easiest way to do it is gonna be getting a trade, learning a skill set, a specific skill set in a high paying industry that you know how to do, that you could do anywhere in any company and anywhere in the world, and it would pay you a very high quality of life, um, of living to do what you do, and it not require life, limb, your mind, whatever, sleepless nights, up late, whatever the case may be, and run you ragged to get that thing done. Are you gonna have challenges? Yes. Starting off in a new career in the company, is you gonna have a learning curve? Yes. Um, is it easy to start over? Is it easy to learn a new skill set, get a certification, pay for a boot camp? Maybe you put it on a credit card or something and get the new job and pay the credit card back down. And this is not financial advice, and I'm not an advisor, but I'm just telling you stuff that literally I did. Telling you stuff that I did, to learn this. I can talk about this. This is my own story. Stuff that I did to become better and to build upon the education that I got in college was cool, but my career education was on me. What I learned in school was what I learned in school. But what I needed to learn about navigating the career world, corporate America, if you will, bro, that was on me. That was my responsibility. That was something I had to do. I had to take that by the horns myself. I had to take that aspect of my future in my hands, trust my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and say, "Hey, I deserve more. I can be more. There are things inside of me, gifts and talents that I'm not utilizing. Let me skill up and see how I can be best deployed into that particular arena to be able to use those gifts." And I just want to encourage in this video and say, hey, if that's you, get after it, go after it, chase after it. You have it within you. You have the ability to be able to be exactly what you desire and want to be in your life and your home and your marriage, and your children's lives. You just got to get after it. You got to go chase it, and you have to be just as intentional, just as focused, and show up for you as you do whatever company you working for. You got to show up for yourself. And that's where it really begins. You can watch routines, you can listen to all the podcasts you want to, but until you put you first in your career, say, hey, this is the type of role I want to, this type of industry I want to be in, this type of role I want to be in. This is how I'm gonna change it. This is what I want my day to day life look like. That simple. Write it down the time. What time do you want to work? What time do you not want to be done with work? What time you want to be able to play with your kids? What time you want to be able to spend with your wife? What type of trips you want to be able to go on? What type of countries are part of your dream countries? What type of fitness do you want to be in? What time do you want to go to the gym? How do you like, what does your ideal life look like? And then work that thing backwards to see what your career, for this particular video, what your career should look like to be able to afford you that type of life. Then it becomes completely simple. It becomes completely simple. If I ain't said nothing in this video, it was for that little spill right there. That was the Holy Spirit. That was not me. I'm telling you, you got it. It's within you. You can do it. Trust your journey. Trust God first and foremost. Align yourself with Him, and make the decision that's needed, man. It can absolutely change your life. It can absolutely change your life. And I want to see, and I'm wrapped up for the video. That's all I got. But I want to see people who are talented, are gifted, be able to share that gift with the world. Just don't let that die, man. Like I said, I've met some beautiful, just amazingly talented people, and the longer they stayed in the arena or area that they thought they needed, longer than they should have, it's almost as if they just that light start to get dim, like it started to go out, like their hope started to diminish because of the situation they were in, the job they were working for, or whatever. And I'm just saying, man, hey, I'm here to tell you, don't lose that light. Um, th- uh, don't lose your light. Don't lose your light. Don't lose you, who you are, who God intended and called for you to be. It may not look like it today. It may not look like it tomorrow. But if you taking a step today and a step tomorrow, you 2 steps ahead of where you was 2 days ago. Keep going, man. Like the ultimate way to ensure your success in anything is to keep going. But you have to check the navigation. You got to check the direction to make sure that the direction that you actually going in is a fruitful and prosperous direction. Checks and balances is important. When they fly airplanes, if they're off by just a little bit, they can end up in a totally different country. So it's important to check the dial. But if the direction is correct, the steps and the routines are there, you are aligned in the ways that you need to be aligned, bro, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Whatever your dream is, and you set sights on it, and you stay locked in on it, and you do the discipline and the hard work to show up for yourself every day, it can happen. It can happen, man. I'll start shouting all over this dad, man. Listen, I'm saved. I'm bought with a price. Old school, man. Like my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, man. I've seen Him do exceedingly and abundantly in my life and people I love's life. And as a result of discipline, as a result of trusting in Him and just giving it all to Him, man. And the devil is alive. If he ever tells anybody who watches this video or whatever else that your life can't change, and it can't change as a result of Jesus Christ in your life. I'm telling you, man. Like you gotta trust Him. Faith without works is dead, as they say. You gotta take that faith, put it with that work, make it happen. Take that faith, put in that work, make it happen, man. That's all for this video. If you like this type of content, listen, hey man, this is how I want to do on my channel. We just have real talks here, man. If you find this valuable in any way, please leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody you know. Man, would love to hear from you guys. To God be the glory. Have a good one. God bless. Thanks for checking out the intent.